Before we jump into round 57, if you want to use stitch markers, you can place one in the stitch, in the two together stitch in the middle, in the center, that we just made in the last round, in round 56. And then we get started with round 57. It's getting so big now. Okay, we start as always with a chain one, and then the corner again, the puff stitch corner, with a 3 yarn over, closing chain, and another extra 2 chains, another puff stitch, and a closing chain. And we start to work into the outer loops, which are these ones. We skip the inner loops and we work in the outer loops. And we start with 7 single crochet. The fourth of those falls into the picot, and the 6th falls into the split spike. Then a single crochet in the back loop only. 5 single crochet, the 2nd falls into the other split spike here, and the 5th is just before the clover blossom. Another picot single crochet, and that is just above, directly above the clover blossom here. Then 2 single crochet and a single crochet in the back loop only. That's the back loop of this split spike. Then 8 single crochet. The 4th falls into the picot stitch. The 7th falls into this split spike, and there is one more. Then a single crochet in the back loop only, and again single crochets for the 2nd falls into this split spike here. 2 more. Then a back loop, single back loop, and now we're going to work 1 single crochet, and then our special picot stitch where we work in the front loop. Then we make our 3 chains, and then we go in the back loop of the same stitch. So we've got 3 loops on the hook, and we yarn over and go through all 3 loops on the hook. And I just pull this a little bit to the front. And that is because we're going forward now with a split spike. And I'm going to mark my next stitch because that's a far forward. Here, and pull this to the side, and then that's the next stitch, which is again a picot, but the normal one. From here we make 6 single crochet, 2nd falls into the picot in the previous round, and the 5th falls into this split spike. Then again a single crochet in the back loop only, and another 7 single crochet. 2nd falls into the split spike, the 4th into a picot, and the 6th as well. And then one more, And we're going again to make a split spike to split this stitch here. And 3 single crochet. And a DC BB, a double crochet behind and below. So we're working a double crochet in those top loops of the stitch that was skipped when we made the 2 together stitch in the previous round. That's our center. And from here another 3 single crochet, and then we're working a split spike ahead, so we go into this split spike here, and this will be our next stitch. And it's the first of 7. Second goes in the picot, the 4th goes in the picot, the 6th goes into the split spike, and then 1 more. A single crochet in the back loop only, and then 6 single crochet. The 2nd goes into the split spike, the 5th goes into the picot, and then 1 more. And again we're going to make our special picot stitch. Front loop only, 3 chains, then go into the back loop of the same stitch, yarn over and go through all 3 loops. And we're going back with a big split spike into this split spike here. Pulling it forward. This is our next stitch, which is also a picot stitch. We've got 1 single crochet, and again, see if the picot goes to the back, just pull it to the front. Then a single in the back loop only, in both loops, and again in the back loop only, then 4 single crochet. The 3rd stitch goes into this split spike, and then we'll work a single crochet in the back loop only. And now we've got 8 single crochet. The 2nd goes into the split spike, the 5th goes into the picot, and the 8th is just before this split spike here, in which we work a single crochet in the back loop only. 2 more single crochet, and now a picot. Upsala. Then 5 single crochet, the 4th goes into the split spike, a single crochet in the back loop only, and 7 single crochet. The 2nd goes also in the split spike, the 4th goes into the picot, 5, 6, and the 7th is the last stitch in the round, and it is worked again in the outer loops of the puff stitch. And that is your round 57. Just finishing this puff stitch corner. And that's it. So, and if you want, you can place lots and lots of stitch markers now in all of these stitches where we had single crochet in the back loop only. For example, we could be using the first 3. Where are we? 1, and then 2, and then 3 here. So we could use color A for the first 3 and the last 3, the corresponding on the other side, and color C in the 4th and 5th, which are here. There we go. Just above this big rose on either side. So we've got the big rose here at the top, and on either side of this big rose there will be a free front loop where you can place your stitch markers. And there is another free front loop here, which is just before the center and between those split spike stitches. Okay, and that's it. 3 more sides, or 3 more times on the other sides, and then again closing with a slip stitch into the outer loop of the puff stitch. And I'll see you in round 58. Round 58. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Almost there. Almost there. We start with a chain 1 and puff stitch with 3 yarn overs all together. And I've got that song in my head now. Oh my goodness. And probably you too, because I started it. 1, 2, and 3 yarn over. So there's our puff stitch. Close it with a chain 1. And we start with 4 single crochet. Again, make sure to start in the outer loop of the puff stitch here. 4 single crochet all together, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we've got a combination that we're going to have a lot in here, where we start with our special picot stitch, where we work in the front loop only, chain 3, then we go in the back loop and pull through all 3 loops. We go forward with a +1 -2, splitting this split spike, and the +1 is a split spike stitch as well. We work over this stitch, so this is our next, and it will be a normal picot. So that's the combination we're going to work a lot. We have 1 single crochet and a popcorn stitch. You may have a stitch marker here. I already took it out. So we'll make 4 double crochet, then we let go of the loop, insert the hook in the first of those 4 double crochets, pull through and close with a chain. And this chain is part of the popcorn. We skip the stitch behind the popcorn, 1 single crochet. Then again, the combination that I said, our special picot, in the back loop and pull through all 3 loops. And then we go back now, splitting this split back here. We follow up with our normal picot stitch. And the next stitch is the first of 4 single crochet. The second will fall into this picot from the previous round. And again, we're going to work a popcorn stitch. It'll be above this split spike. Working 4 double crochet in the same front loop. And close with a chain. And you notice that mine is a bit long now, but it'll all even out. That's all good. 1 single and another of our normal picot stitches. A picot single crochet. Two single crochet and our combination special picot, forward split spike, splitting this split spike here, and normal picot. One single, a popcorn, and 4, and close. And if you don't like working popcorns, try a cluster stitch. A 4DC cluster. It'll have very similar effect, and it may be easier, nicer and quicker for you to work. 1 single, and again the special picot split picot combination. Our special picot, then we split backwards here. And the normal picot afterwards. Follow with a single crochet. And we have another clover blossom. Let me just take these out so they're easier to see, those front loops. We start with a treble in the front loop. That's 1 back and 2 rounds below. It's our first leg. Then the second leg is a double treble into the same front loop. The third leg is a triple treble into the top loops of this 2 together stitch here. The fourth leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, is again a triple treble in the same top loops. Then we go back to a double treble into the front loop. That's 1 ahead and 2 rounds down. And a treble in the same front loop. I've got 6 legs, and now we yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook and close with a chain 1. Skip the stitch behind the clover blossom, and we'll make 3 single crochet. And the third of those will fall into this picot stitch from the previous round. And we make another picot, and it should be above this split spike so that it sits between those 2 picot stitches here. We'll work another 3 single crochet. And again the combination. Special picot. Split spike. Normal picot. One single crochet. And the popcorn. DC and closing. That's it. One single, special picot, and we need to make this special picot because we need to anchor the stitch down. Spike or split spike. Oh, let me do it again. So I've worked in this, so this will be my next stitch. Didn't watch properly. This will be another normal picot. 3 single and a picot that sits on top of the split spike here. Two single crochet, and here's our center stitch. We're going to prepare to work another clover blossom above this center stitch, so we work a single in the back loop only, both loops, and another back loop only. Then 2 single crochet, and again a picot that sits above this split spike, normal picot. Three single again, 3 single crochet, special picot, split spike, forward, go in here, normal picot. One single and a popcorn. We skip the stitch behind this popcorn, 1 single, and again the combination, special picot stitch. Now we go backwards with our split spike, followed up by a normal picot. And then 3 single crochet again. picot stitch above this split spike. And another 3 single crochet. I'm going to take these stitch markers out again. We're working another clover blossom. A treble in the first front loop, a double treble in the same front loop, a triple treble in the top loop of the 2 together stitch, another triple treble in the same top loops, a double treble now in the next 3 front loop, and a treble in the same 3 front loop. And now through all loops on the hook, closing with a chain 1, skip the stitch behind and continue with a single crochet in the next. Our famous combination, special picot. Forward split spike, normal picot. A single crochet and a popcorn. And you see, with those 3 front loops, you always have a reference whether you're in the correct place or not, and it's easy to see where you've gone wrong in case you did, which I don't think you will. The popcorn's finished. Skip the stitch behind the popcorn, 1 single crochet. Again, special picot. Backward split spike, normal picot. Two single crochet, normal picot stitch. One single crochet, and you should be above the split spike where you have a free front loop in which we work a popcorn stitch again. Skip the stitch behind the popcorn, 4 single crochet. And the third falls into this picot stitch. Combination, special picot. Forward split spike. Normal picot, 1 single crochet, popcorn stitch, almost there. Skip the stitch behind the popcorn, 1 single. Once more our combination, special picot, backwards split spike, normal picot. And our last 4 single crochets on the side. And the 4th of those falls into the outer loop of the puff stitch. And here is the puff stitch corner again. There you go. Okay. So now we're going to repeat it on the other 3 sides. If you want to use stitch markers, I'm not going to put them in. You can place them on either side of this stitch here. You know where we have the stitch marker, maybe or maybe not, in the top loops of this 2 together stitch. And on either side there is a free front loop now. We're going to work the clover blossom into these 3 stitches in the next round. So I'm just going to leave them out for now, but if you want to place them, that's where you would put them. So once you've repeated on the other 3 sides, then you close with a slip stitch into the outer loop of the puff stitch here, and there is only 1 more round to go where we've got picot stitches and 1 clover blossom. So pretty simple. And then we're almost there. So keep on being excited. I'll see you in the next round, round 59. Our next to last round 59 is pretty easy. Remember I said at the end of round 56, I said we've got 3 more rounds. It is 4 more rounds, but 3 more rounds where I think it can be beneficial if I guide you through, because the last round is just single crochet. Nevertheless, we're going to go through that as well, but first round 59. So we start with a chain 1, and then we make a single crochet into the chain 2 space. We chain 1, and now we're going to make a puff stitch, just 1 into that chain 2 space. And I'm going to make a 4 yarn over puff stitch. Just want this to be a little bit bigger. Okay, closed with a chain 1, another chain 1, and another single crochet into the same chain space. Okay, again we start in the outer loop of this puff stitch here. We start with 3 single crochet. Then our picot single crochet. And in this round we only have the normal picot. 2 single crochet. And another picot. And you see that this picot, and we'll have that quite a lot, is made in the top of those of this split spike between the picot from the previous round. We had the combination, the special picot split normal picot, and now we're going to top this split spike up with a normal picot stitch. You see it's popping backwards, so I just bring it to the front again. We follow up with 5 single crochet, and the third of those will be worked in the closing chain of the popcorn stitch. And the 5th is in this picot here. And then you see we've got the combination again, the picot split picot, and we're going to work a picot in the top of that split spike. Then we've got 2 single crochet, and we'll make another picot stitch. And now 8 of those single crochets, and accidentally or intentionally the third again is in the third of those single crochet is worked in the popcorn stitch, and the 5th goes in a picot, and the last is another picot again, and you see here's the combination: picot, split, picot, and we work a picot stitch in the split. Then 5 single crochet, again the third is worked in the popcorn stitch, and the 5th again falls into the picot. Another picot stitch, picot single crochet, and then we're working 11 single crochet. The first goes into the picot, and the third is worked in this clover blossom. Remember, the clover blossom has 2 loop pairs. I'm going to skip this wider loop pair here, and I will be working in the closing chain. You can work in whichever you prefer. That's totally up to you. Just remember that there are 2, but you only work into one of those. So that was the third. 5, 6, 7, and the 8 goes in a picot. 9, 10, 11. Or is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Because we're here at the combination. So that's what we have to consider. Then, sorry, I didn't mention, I just made it. We make another picot stitch between those 2 picots here. And then again, 5 single crochet. The third goes into the popcorn stitch. And then another picot. And now we're working 8 single crochet again. The 5th falls into a picot stitch. And here's our center stitch, which is the last of the clover blossoms. So remember, a treble in the front loop that is 1 behind and 2 rounds below. Unfinished, and a double treble in the same front loop. Then a triple treble in those loops here. Another triple treble in the same loop. A double treble in the front loop, 1 ahead and 2 rounds down, and a treble in the same front loop. And now we yarn over and go through all loops on the hook, and I close with a chain 1. Skip the stitch behind this clover blossom, and from here another 8 single crochet. And the 4th falls in the picot, as does the 8th. A picot stitch, then 5 single crochet, the 3rd in the popcorn, another picot between those picot stitches here. And then 11 single crochet. The 5th falls into a picot. And the 9th falls into the clover blossom. And again, I'm going to skip this wider stitch and I'm working into the closing chain here. That's 9, 10 and 11. Another picot stitch, picot single crochet, and then 5 single crochet. Again, the 3rd is worked into the popcorn stitch. And the 5th again goes into the picot, and then we make another picot. Now we're working 8 single crochet, and the 4th falls into the picot, the 6th falls into the popcorn. Another picot stitch, then 2 single crochet, and 1 more picot, 5 single crochet, again the 3rd of those falls into the popcorn stitch, then a picot stitch, picot single crochet, and then 2 single crochet and another picot. And we'll finish with 3 single crochet. And that's it. So that's a quick round. And when you're finished, when you've repeated on the other 3 sides, you slip stitch into this first single crochet here that you made into this chain 2 space. And then in the next round, I'm going to show you how to work over this corner, and I think the rest will be super duper easy. Okay, I'll see you in a moment. So this is round 60. Normally I wouldn't even need to show you how to work it because everything is single crochet in this round. But let's just do the beginning together. So we start with a chain 1, which I already did. And we are going to make a single crochet, chain 2 single crochet. and the corner, and the first single crochet goes into this chain 1 before the puff stitch. Now we're going to chain 2, and then the second single crochet of this corner will go in the chain 1 space just after the puff stitch. And from here everything is as you know it. So let's just do a few together. We're going to work only single crochet in this round, and we did that before. Here in the picot stitches you just work a normal single crochet. Everything is really as you did before. The only change, if you want to do that, is here in the middle, where we have the clover blossom. I usually work in the closing chain just to make it a bit neater and smaller, because this loop tends to be a little bit bigger. So usually I work into this closing chain of the clover blossom stitch. However, there are a few options, and there is a video tutorial how to work over the clover blossom stitch as well. And the options are either to work a double crochet behind and below in those skipped stitches, loops, and the alternative would be to work a front post single crochet around the clover blossom here, or just simply work into this stitch. So whichever option you choose, you're totally free to do however you like it, whatever you prefer. And as I said, this is the only stitch that gives you those options. Everything is really just plain and simple single crochet, as you have done so many times before. So all you need to do is to really single crochet around in this round, and then close either with a slip stitch, but because it's the last round, I would suggest to close with an invisible join. And there's also a video tutorial on this website for that, how to do that. So I'm hoping that you have enjoyed the journey with Claire so far. Well, so far, because it's now almost finished, unless you want to do it again and try it with 2 colors or 3 or even more. And then we continue with the season 2 squares, the smaller squares. And I really look forward to seeing you there. Take care.